The absolute beginning of the surf shop was I went to these guys to fix one of my surfboards. They took the surfboard, fixed it, and it had bad foam in it, so when they fixed it, the board actually imploded. I had this like destroyed board, so what they did is they felt bad and they made me a custom, pretty much at cost. So I went to these guys one day for a senior project at USM. It was a business plan, had to be at least 32 pages. Went to them and asked them, can I do it on you guys? As far as McDermott's shapes, if they were to open up their own custom board shop. No idea I was actually going to business partner with them. So I had done my research, forecasted data. The business plan ended up being 47 pages and 20 pages of Excel spreadsheets. Got an A on it. Showed it to the bank. The bank was stoked on it. That was the time where the bank was like, you could take out a loan for this. So I went to Andy and Ryan, just school project. I had only known these guys 3 months at this point. Asked them, you guys want to do this? We picked this spot out in the business plan for the school project, so we based it off of that same business model in the business plan, and ever since then everything's been going pretty smoothly. And that's how everything got created, was a school project.
I started making surfboards with my brother. We went on a trip to Nantucket. He was living out there, and I went on a trip to visit him summer of I think 2002, and we got hooked on surfing. I came back home and wanted to buy a board, and they were like $750. This is kind of ridiculous. I'd been making boats, I've been working in boat yards for like my whole life, and fiberglassing wasn't foreign, and my dad was a sculptor. So we just kind of looked at this and we're like, this is simple. Like, we could just make these. So that's kind of how we started. Shaped my first board with a belt sander. It was kind of just like I didn't really know anything about surfboards or anything, or even surfing for that matter. So our first boards were pretty brutal, but we still surfed the board. They worked. Just make a surfboard start to finish. We start with what we call a blank. Which is this. This is a blank. And I ordered this blank in a ton of different shapes and sizes, thicknesses. This is the rocker dimension, so you can specify, there's hundreds and hundreds of different combinations you can use for this blank. And I then take a planer, which is this power tool here. It's got just spinning power blades, hooked up to a vacuum so I don't make a huge mess. And I plane this whole thing down, it's mostly custom. Most of the boards we do are custom. I don't make any just like stock boards, so it's kind of depending on how thick the person is and how thick they want their board. Fatter people definitely need fatter boards, and vice versa. So I start with the shape, and then my brother does all the fiberglass, and he does a lot of the shaping too. And the fiberglass, the next step is you wrap this blank, this finished shaped blank, with a bunch of cloth that looks like this here. And we drape this over the finished shaped blank. And we pour like a glue, an epoxy resin or a polyester resin, whichever one the customer wants. And then this hardens and it creates a very strong shell on the board. And then you're left with what's underneath here. And so this board here is just getting sanded. I've still got to polish this, but you can see it's now the hardened finish, and we insert fin plugs in here so to hold the fins in. And some people get 1 fin, some people get 5 fins, some get 3, some get 4. So it's all really custom per order.
So 5 years from now, I can see us having bigger retail space, maybe a little closer to Higgins and Scarborough Beach, and have a couple more board companies in the shop. That's it, really. As far as myself goes, but whatever.